let's get into our main topic today. And today we're talking about sugar and how it is a drug. And that's kind of difficult for me to say, and because I always think it's so strong the first time that I've heard it, and the first time that because I've been doing a lot of reading and research about sugar and as a drug. So the first time I heard it, I was like, whoa, like that is a little extreme to say. But the more that I was learning about sugar and the effects of sugar on our body and how our body reacts to it mentally and emotionally, I'm learning why that statement is so true. And there's been all of this research done about the effects on the body being similar to some of those, bigger drugs. I think like cocaine was one of them or something, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not going to get into like
the research.
exact comparisons, but I think sometimes when we're at presentations and I say that, I think some people's eyes get a little bit bigger. And then Dorothy explains.
Yeah.
She's like, I know that sounds extreme, but listen.
Because I was there too. I'm like, that's too extreme, because sugar is put into, unfortunately, a food category and it's socially accepted. And I was telling Drew the other day, I was driving home from somewhere, and I always get these like thoughts in my head, and I was going over our last event in my head, because we're always, working towards how to make things better. So I was reviewing our last event in my head, and we had talked about sugar and how it is a drug. And I was thinking about how come sugar is so socially accepted in our society, and how we think that, just having sugar once in a while is okay, because we would never say that about a drug. It's okay to have it once in a while, right? But how come that's okay with sugar? So that's kind of what was going on in my brain at that time.
Well, I heard that olive oil is the oldest commodity, like traded commodity, but like sugar's got to be up there, like as one of the oldest things, that products that have been traded and used for years and years. And I think because it's always been like that, it's acceptable. Like just because it's all like we don't realize, like smoking, like doctors used to recommend smoking, for example, and they just didn't have the research. And I'd imagine it's the same thing with sugar. Now we understand, like, it's highly addictive, it's harmful to our health, and unfortunately we put it in everything. So we don't think about it being a drug. We don't think about how harmful it is and can be. If you want to get more controversial here, we have alcohol used to be illegal, and now it's legalized. You drink alcohol, you can only drink a certain amount for it to be legal. Of course, you can't drive, but it used to be illegal. And marijuana, same way. It used to be illegal, and now it's legal. You can buy it at wherever, and it's going to continue to be more available. And I think that before, in the next generations, the next 20 years, people aren't going to have bad thoughts around marijuana. They're just going to be like, oh, that's normal. And 10 years ago, people are like, oh my gosh, you smoke weed?
Yeah.
Or what's that weed smell? People are smoking drugs.
Oh my gosh. Right?
And I think that it's just become normal, and with sugar, that it's okay because it's always been like that.
Right.
And we just want to let you know it's not okay.
It's not.
And it's a drug that's harmful to our health. And just because society says it's normal and natural and you can have it, you shouldn't.
Right. And it just, I don't know, it's so, I don't know what the right word is here, but like it's so frustrating, maybe is the right word, because it's in everything that we buy. Like all packaged foods at the grocery store, you can almost guarantee that sugar's in there. So it just blows my mind. Like, how is this allowed, right? How are they allowed to do that to us without even like educating us on the detriments of it?
And on top of that, we, as a society, we add sugar to things.
Right.
Like we add sugar to baking. Always talk about healthy alternatives. Like we add sugar to bacon, or we add refined sugar to our coffee. And it's like, I'm like, sugar is in everything. We don't need more of it. Stop adding more. So I think if we look at, a lot of times people say, oh, I cut out all sugar. I mean, there's different forms of sugar. Like from a fruit, that's a clean sugar that your body can process properly. Refined sugar, a lot of times your body's like, what is this? It's a toxin. So many times that's stored as body fat. So we continue to put sugar in our body, and we can't figure out why we continue to gain body fat, why we don't sleep, why we're nasally, why we have all these issues, but we keep putting these toxins in our body and don't consider what the source is.
Right. Yeah, because when we talk about sugar, we're talking about the white, refined sugar. And, there are other more healthier versions or other forms of sugar, like from fruit or natural sources like honey or maple syrup, that your body can recognize and utilize.
Right. So that's what we got to say about sugar. Take that.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.